Picture this. It's peak hour. You're stuck. Again. The exhaust fumes sting your nose, the honking grates on your nerves, and every single minute feels like an eternity lost to the endless, soul-crushing crawl of traffic. This isn't just a daily annoyance for millions. It's a fundamental challenge to our quality of life, a drain on our time, our planet, and our peace of mind.
Now, imagine a different reality. A life where your favorite coffee shop, your child's school, a sprawling, beautiful park, and even your workplace are all just a short, pleasant stroll or a leisurely bike ride from your front door. No endless commutes, no gas station stops, no fighting for parking. Just the simple pleasure of movement, community, and access.
This isn't some far-fetched science fiction. This is the core vision of the 15-minute city. It's a revolutionary urban planning concept actively being explored and implemented around the world, designed to bring the essentials of daily life closer to home, making our cities more livable, sustainable, and connected. It promises a future that is greener, healthier, and more deeply connected to our communities. But for a rapidly growing number of people, this vision of an urban utopia sounds less like a dream and far more like a tightly controlled digital prison. How can one concept inspire such wildly different reactions? Let's dive in.
So, what exactly is a 15-minute city, according to its original architects? The idea was popularized by Professor Carlos Moreno, a visionary urbanist from the Sorbonne University in Paris. His core philosophy is deceptively simple: reimagine cities through the lens of proximity and access.
Don't forget to subscribe to Conspiracy Theories Deep Dives and ring the bell.
Shift our reliance away from cars by designing neighborhoods where residents can access all their essential needs, from their workplace to their favorite bakery, from a doctor's clinic to their child's school, and vital green spaces for leisure, all within a comfortable 15-minute walk or a quick bike ride. It's about building cities for people, not just for cars. Cities across the globe have enthusiastically embraced this vision. Paris, under Mayor Anne Hidalgo, has been a trailblazer, transforming busy avenues into pedestrian havens, creating school streets free of traffic, and converting parking lots into vibrant public squares. Melbourne and Barcelona are also redesigning their urban landscapes, fostering what they call superblocks to prioritize human interaction over vehicle movement. It's about fostering convenience and significantly enhancing the quality of life. This means not just moving services closer, but also creating multi-purpose hubs within neighborhoods, spaces that seamlessly blend a library with a co-working space, a community garden with a pop-up market, or a local clinic with a meeting point. The goal is simple: make life easier, more connected, and more sustainable for everyone.
For years, the 15-minute city was primarily seen as a progressive, if somewhat niche, urban planning concept. It was discussed in academic circles, city councils, and environmental forums. So, how did this seemingly innocent idea, designed to improve our lives, transform into one of the internet's most explosive, fear-mongering conspiracy theories?
The turning point, without a doubt, seems to be the collective trauma of the COVID-19 lockdowns. For months, billions of people experienced what it felt like to be confined to their homes, to their local areas, often separated from loved ones and essential services. This unprecedented experience created a deep-seated, visceral fear of restricted movement, a vulnerability that conspiracy theorists would soon exploit. According to the most prevalent versions of the theory, the 15-minute city is not fundamentally about convenience or sustainability. No, they claim it's actually a sinister plot about control, a grand scheme designed to gradually strip away our freedoms and confine us within ever-shrinking geographical boundaries. This narrative is frequently, and perhaps predictably, linked to powerful global entities like the World Economic Forum and the overarching concept of the Great Reset.
The narrative claims that cities will be meticulously divided into zones, and residents will be strictly forbidden from leaving their designated zone without explicit government-issued permits. Think about that. A system where your daily movements are not just monitored, but actively restricted. Movement between these zones, they say, will be observed by a vast, omnipresent network of surveillance cameras, meticulously tracking every citizen.
And for those who dare to break these new, unwritten rules, the theory suggests harsh penalties, heavy fines, loss of social credit, or other forms of digital punishment. They even have a name for this supposed new era of control: climate lockdowns. The idea that climate change, a global crisis, would be used as a pretext for unprecedented government control over individual lives and liberties.
This terrifying vision, amplified by the echo chambers of social media, resonated deeply with existing fears about government overreach, surveillance, and a looming climate agenda. It spread like wildfire, transforming what was once a relatively obscure urban planning idea into a lightning rod for global discontent and distrust. The concept was no longer about walkable cities, it was about them controlling us.
And then, the conspiracy found its ground zero. The historic city of Oxford, England, with its dreaming spires and ancient universities, unexpectedly became the global epicenter for this burgeoning conspiracy theory. In 2022, the local council approved a plan for 6 traffic filters to reduce congestion in the city center. A perfectly mundane, localized traffic management initiative. Or so it seemed.
Almost immediately, the conspiracy version of the story went viral, twisting the facts beyond recognition. The claim: Oxford was locking residents into their districts. People would be trapped, unable to visit friends or family in other parts of the city without permission. This was it, the first concrete step towards the climate lockdown dystopia, playing out in real time in a charming British city. But what is actually happening in Oxford? The reality is far less dramatic. The plan is, quite simply, a traffic filter, not a lockdown. Its primary goal is to discourage private vehicles from cutting through the already congested city center during peak hours. This isn't about restricting people from moving, it's about managing traffic flow and reducing pollution. Residents can still drive to any part of the city they want. They just might have to use a main ring road instead of cutting directly through the very center. Crucially, there are no physical barriers. There are no gates, no checkpoints, no permits needed to leave your neighborhood or district. You can still walk, bike, or take a bus anywhere, anytime. The freedom of movement for individuals remains entirely unrestricted. So, here we have 2 completely divergent stories. One is a pragmatic, evidence-based urban traffic management plan. The other is a terrifying dystopian plot to imprison humanity, orchestrated by shadowy global elites. how can such a vast chasm exist between perception and reality? And more importantly, why does the latter narrative so powerfully capture the public imagination? This narrative thrives on a potent cocktail of legitimate, understandable concerns and wild, unfounded exaggerations. People are, quite rightly, genuinely worried about increasing government surveillance in our digital age. They are distrustful of large, often opaque global organizations like the World Economic Forum, whose agendas can feel distant and inaccessible to the average citizen. The genius, or perhaps the insidious nature of this particular conspiracy is how it takes these valid, pre-existing fears that resonate deeply with many, and skillfully attaches them to a completely unrelated and otherwise benign urban planning policy. It creates a narrative that is simple, visceral, terrifying, and crucially, incredibly easy to share and digest online. Once a narrative like this takes hold, it's reinforced by what we call echo chambers and confirmation bias. People seek out information that confirms their existing beliefs, and social media algorithms are designed to deliver it. This creates a self-reinforcing loop where the conspiracy seems more credible, more widespread, and more threatening than it truly is. Facts become irrelevant. Fear becomes the driving force. The debate over 15-minute cities, therefore, isn't just about traffic management or innovative urban design anymore. It's fundamentally about trust. It's about how genuinely good, well-intentioned ideas aimed at improving our collective lives can be distorted, weaponized, and twisted into tools of fear in an age of rampant misinformation and digital distrust. It forces us to ask a critical, urgent question for our shared future. How do we, as a global society, build better, more sustainable, and more equitable cities when a significant portion of the population fears that every new idea, every innovative policy is merely a secret plot designed to control or restrict them? The line between a utopia and a prison, it seems, depends entirely on who you trust to draw the map. What are your thoughts on the 15-minute city concept? Do you see it as a path to a better urban future or a step towards something more concerning? Let us know your perspective in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth explorations.